Welcome to Squatch-D TV, where the truth is first before all else. Join your hosts, veteran investigator, TV personality, and author Steve Kulls, and from the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Project and the Kentucky Fried Fixes channel, Chris Bennett. Sit back and prepare to take yourself on a journey with the longest-running Bigfoot podcast, Squatch-D TV. Here are your hosts, Steve and Chris.
And good evening, cyberspace. Welcome to Squatch-D TV for today's date, February 19th, 2025. I'm your host, your guide, the Squatch Detective, Steve Kulls, along with my co-host right down there, Mr. Chris Bennett. What is up, my brother?
Oh, man, we have had a really rough few days here in Kentucky, man. We had floods, and luckily, during the middle of the heaviest rain of the flooding rains, it turned into snow. Which that was good. We needed something to slow the water down, so to give the creeks and rivers a little chance to catch up. So it turned into snow, and then we had snow on the ground. And then the next day we got a lot more snow on the ground and these really cold temperatures. But my thoughts and prayers with everybody in the surrounding area that's had problems. We've been lucky so far, knock on wood. No flooding in my general area here at the house, but just up the road there was a young lady and her daughter got swept off the road and they drowned. Yeah, I hated to hear that.
Prayers to their family, man. I don't know how you deal with that. That is unreal.
It's gotta be rough. But we'd had some more snow this morning, and after about lunchtime they cleared up the roads pretty quickly. So we decided, well, we better, our normal day to go to the grocery store is Monday. So we decided, well, we better go today while we can, because they're talking about a -1 wind chill and stuff tonight, and could be possibly more snow. We don't know. But so we took out a loan at the bank and went and bought us about $300 worth of groceries.
Oh, so you bought 2 cartons of eggs?
Yeah, we got one. We got 1 carton of eggs. Yeah,
now,
1 carton of eggs.
Now they're actually rationing eggs. Speaking of which, this is a little bit of a breaking news story here. There was a fight that broke out of the Eggsland Best factory today.
Yeah. The golden egg. The goose laid the golden egg, yeah. Well, that's worth a lot of money right now.
Apparently, there was an angry customer that stormed the factory because they couldn't buy the eggs at the store. So.
Oh, yeah. That little girl was a brat. I'm sorry. She was a brat.
Veruca Salt.
Veruca. Yeah. Veruca.
So, yeah.
Oh, the chicken. He's recovering from the flu there. I don't think they did that.
Wait. What's he got? Is that Invermectin on his pillow?
I don't know, but I don't think they gave him a chance to recover. I think well, he looks kind of sick. Yeah, he's out of here. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to catch whatever he's got.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, Oh,
so I have no idea except.
Well, we do shop a lot at these cut rate stores. Kroger has got a place called Ruler Foods, and there's an offshoot of Kroger. They have a lot of Kroger brand stuff in there, and it's really cheap. And most of the time it's kind of like Aldi. So I don't know if you guys got an Aldi up there. But
boo! Look at these jokes coming through. Excellent. Don't egg Chris on.
Those are good, yeah.
It's amazing when we get grass started. Hey!
Well, the thing is, I'm real.
Central Kentucky Sasquatch. Matt, what's up, baby? You finally got
Matt, congratulations. I like that. That sounds good.
Oh my
But,
goodness.
I hope Matt hadn't had any problems with flooding and stuff up there in his area. We got some. I mean, I think it was really worse in the eastern part of the state and the western part of the state. But we had some deaths here in the central part of the state too. So I guess it got us all. Um, but that's good. I'm glad to see that, Matt. But while we was at the grocery store, we were looking at the price of eggs, and at the Ruler Foods, like I said, Aldi's is kind of the same thing. They usually have cheap prices on milk, eggs, bread, hamburger buns, stuff like that. And their eggs were $3.99 per dozen, which don't get me wrong, that's cheap for now. And and the wife asked me, said, "How many dozen do you want to get?" And I told her, I looked at her and I said,
These
"One."
egg jokes they just keep on coming.
Grant, that's
Whoa. I just thought of this. Now I know who to blame the weather for. This guy. You didn't have this kind of weather. Oh, he showed up.
Yeah. I think Martin. Okay, seriously though. But hey, we're gonna do the roll call. Come on, let's do the roll call.
This is excruciating.
But we got it for $3.99 a dozen. I told her, she said, "How many?" I said, 1 dozen. 1. I am really okay. I'm cheap.
That is extraordinary. Anyway, all right.
Exactly.
Okay, first in tonight is Pete H. Hello, Pete. Relic commented, stopped in, said, "Have a great show. We'll see you tomorrow morning over the pond there, Relic."
Yeah.
Don Come Out Jr. in the house. Roy Longley, hello, sir. Greetings from all the lurkers. Grant Rasha, good to see you. Mitch Hargrove, good to see you. Karen Fisher, hello. Ristel, what's going on? Walter Kroll, how are you? Jen the Bouncer, Jen, you're in the house. Baron's probably nearby, probably sound asleep. Martin Stilts, good to see you. Hominid Academia, a very interesting email you got. You sent me this weekend, so I'm gonna read it a little more in depth. The Beatron in the house. Hello, Beatron.
Susie Monster.
Susie Monster in the house. Of course, Grasshopper. We can't match him. And we got Arthur Watch in the house. Arthur, good to see you. Who else? Did we get everybody? We, of course, Matt at Central Kentucky Sasquatch now.
Love that, Matt. That's
Kaiju
great.
Ninja 1985. Hello.
Ninja.
We already said Martin. Roker Gepta is in the house, who threw in the excellent.
Roker, welcome.
Oh, there's Nikki, Sasquatch Secrets. Hello. Timberline Camp. Good to see you, Timberline.
Welcome. Good to see you.
All right. I think that is everybody. We did say Grant Rasha, too. He was towards the beginning.
Grant.
Well,
I didn't get lost that time. Good. We got like, 33 people. Golly. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. Oh.
And not bad for a Wednesday. So I want to throw a thanks out to my new buddy, Kenneke. Kind of a strange name, but the person's first name is Kenneke. Mm-hmm. And they're out there from California and sent me a request via Facebook the other day, or a couple of weeks ago, saying he's created these playing cards, or these like baseball cards, and for Bigfoot researchers. So he was wondering if he sent me a few, if I could sign one, and he'll have a self-addressed stamped envelope in there, so I could send one back. So I did with a little note inside and a couple of business cards, and that's going back tomorrow. So if you're watching, Kenneke, it's going to go out tomorrow in the mail. And I got to say, I took all the cards and I did sign them all, even though the spares I had. So they're pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can't.
Oh, this is like collector cards or something.
Yeah, baseball cards. Yeah. So pretty cool.
Pretty neat, yeah.
So thank you again, Kenneke. It was my honor to sign one for you. And I felt honored that you put me on a playing card.
Wow. great,
so
man.
it's pretty cool.
That's good.
So,
Hey, I see Scott Murphy in there. Hey, Scott.
Scott, how are you?
Welcome. And all the lurkers out there lurking with Grant. We appreciate you guys too.
Yep. So, very interesting week. I've been on a few podcasts the last week, and yeah, Sunday I was just pretty exhausted. The week had caught up to me pretty well, and yeah, I was pretty beat, and I had a pretty busy schedule. I was on the Sasquatch Experience podcast on Monday, where I'm doing a little bit of book promotion. This Friday night, I will be before the show here, so it won't affect the Friday show. But this Friday, I will be doing Cliff and Bobo show,
right?
Bigfoot and Beyond.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
So I'll be doing their show, and there's a few others that are upcoming as well. So I know there's Bigfoot Michigan. Rob will be on his show in a couple of months, and there's another Doug Hycheck show I'll be on in March.
Yeah.
So we're making the rounds with the books, and in case anybody hasn't known, let me pull this up too, because I don't think I may have shown this. I don't think I've shown this.
No.
Forget. Oop.
Bring up the book and the release date.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out here. Because for some reason, this dang computer resets. I lost the graph. Oh, there it is.
Grant's still on the egg jokes here. What's an egg's least favorite day of the week? Friday.
So right now, that's the release dates we got going on for.
Okay. March 1st will be Bigfoot, a scientific examination.
March 15th will be the Squatch Detective's Guide to Bigfoot Investigations. And now April 5th will be What Would Sasquatch 2 Volume 2, which far, far surpasses the first one. Right. And, I dare say that, these 5 books, if you want to know everything, or even the last 4 books between psychology and the next 3 that are coming out, those 4 books will teach you everything you need to know about Bigfoot, everything you need to know about Bigfoot research. And it is as Sean Forker called it, he goes, it's a tomb, a scientific examination, because it's so big. I mean, I showed him, and he's like, "Oh my God, look how it's like a textbook," and it is. It's not a skinny book.
Yeah. I like this last one. I've not read the Squatch Detective's Guide to Bigfoot Investigations though, but I'm on page 75 of my second reading.
Oh.
It's good. It's good.
Well, wait till I'll send you over the other 2 as well.
Yeah, I want to see those too. Yeah. Absolutely. Of course, I'm going to own me a hard copy of each one, or a hardcover.
But the interesting thing is the first book, The Psychology of Bigfoot, and the last book, What Would Sasquatch Do Too, where I really, when I wrote the first one, I was still an amateur at writing books. Now I'm very organized when I write, and now between the psychology and that, you'll understand about the psychology and behaviors of both the witnesses and the creatures. It's
right.
And then, the science is the other 2 books in between.
Well, I thought the psychology of Bigfoot was a good one, important, mainly because you learn about the forensic interviews and
the mechanisms. You learn about all the mechanisms in the mind.
Right.
And what it's going to be one hell of a presentation I'm doing this year. I'm setting up. So, which reminds me, it's official that the Whitehall Sasquatch Calling Festival will be September, I believe, 26th this year, the last Saturday of the month of September. It's official.
Which one?
The Whitehall Sasquatch Calling Festival. It's official. I once again am emceeing the calling contest, and I am.
That'll be fun.
Once again, I think this is like my 5th or 6th year of doing it. So
yeah. I love to see the kids come out and call. That's so great.
Yep. So yep, and so that's done. I will also be at the Kinderhook Paranormal Encrypted festival or conference or expo at the Kinderhook Public Library in May as well.
Yeah.
So, and of course, there is a rumor that the beginning of September, the 1st, I believe it's the 8th and 9th, I will be going to Missouri.
That'll be cool.
To not necessarily to speak, but to press the flesh and sell some books and so because I've been invited down there as well at the Ozark Mountain Festival, the Missouri Bigfoot Conference.
We'll have to, stop by and put some boots on the ground here. Of course, September is not really a busy time.
Yeah, then it would be Grant. That would be September 27th, not 26th. I knew it was the last. It was right in that. Of course, those who know me, that whole weekend is a weekend of events for me. I do stuff on Friday night. Yeah. I do stuff on Sunday during the day. It's very fun time of year for me. So
competition, welcome. I hope you're okay from the flooding and stuff, bud. Take care of yourself.
So anyway, people are wondering, foiled by Bigfoot, what exactly is that about today?
Right.
Well, I gotta say, I'm sitting there yesterday. I was originally supposed to do a podcast with Bigfoot Michigan Rob, but there was a scheduling conflict, so it didn't happen. So I'm sitting there in front of my computer wondering, well, what do I do now? And then it dawned on me. So what we ended up doing is we've started a new project. And that project is that I had sent a FOIL request to our New York State Department of Environmental
Freedom of Information Law. Okay, FOIL. Because when I saw FOIL in capitals on the show preview, I was thinking that what is he talking about? Aluminum foil?
Right. Yep. Yeah, people don't know foil. The aluminum foil is it's a play on words, but what it meant is Freedom of Information Law. Yeah. Now, in some states they have FOIA, which is Freedom of Information Act. In New York State, we have a law, so it's actually a Freedom of Information Law FOIL request.
Right.
And I gotta say, it's pretty cool because I used ChatGPT to compose the parameters and write the official letter for me. And the beautiful thing is I told ChatGPT who I was writing the letter to, what I wanted, who I am, what I wanted in the letter, the parameters of the FOIL request. And it generated the address, it generated the email address to the people I needed to at the New York State DEC.
Well, that's handy. Yeah, it kept you from having to go to all these different websites and poking around trying to
find right. Where do I send a FOIL request? It did it for me automatically. So I literally took me 5 minutes to do this. Took me another minute to email the FOIL request to New York State DEC. Yeah. Now, the big question is, what are they going to say? But just so you understand, in a FOIL request, and it's a good time to kind of review what should be in a FOIL request. Because in a FOIL request, if you're too broad stroked, if you're too general, send me all information about Bigfoot sightings reported to you guys, blah, 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 blah. That's not concise enough. So if you look at this particular one, it says, of course, every state's going to be a little bit different. But that's the beauty of the thing is I explained to ChatGPT, I'm in New York State. I'd like to write a FOIL request to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation for Bigfoot sightings between January 1st, 2017 through February 15th, 2025. And what I want in that is any logs, any reports, witness statements, and or audio recordings of phone calls
Right.
made to DEC for that.
Hmm.
Right? So, and I want it for the following counties, A, B, C, D, E. So if you look at the way this is written, of course, there's the legal pursuant to New York State Freedom of Information Law, Article 6 of the Public Officers Law. I hereby, and it quoted the law and everything. I didn't have to do nothing.
Yeah.
I hereby request access to records held by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation regarding alleged Bigfoot or Sasquatch sightings. I request copies of all logs, phone recordings, witness statements, and official reports made to the Environmental Conservation Police and New York State Forest Rangers regarding alleged Bigfoot or Sasquatch sightings reported within the following counties. And I got Albany County, Columbia County, Greene County, Essex County, Rensselaer County, Warren County, and Washington County, which is where I live. The time period for the request is from January 1st, 2017 to February 15, 2025. So it's spot on, right? It's being very specific of what I want.
Yeah.
So now when they go look at these records, they know what to look for. And then, of course, I asked for preferred format, that the records be provided in an electronic format, PDF, MP3 for recordings, etc. Whenever possible. If records exist in physical format only, please advise me of any associated costs for copies.
Yeah.
So, and then I asked for a fee waiver saying this is for the public interest and research. So, see what happens.
And if you're watching this on the replay, guys, make sure you hit the full screen. It's easier to read.
Right.
Well, if you're like me and you can't see without your reading glasses, it's easier to read full screen.
That's why I'm kind of narrating it a bit.
Yeah.
And then finally, it has my contact information, which I've kind of blurred out of there.
Yeah.
So one would think, so I emailed it to him last night, and one would think, all right, are they going to blow it off, or are they going to tell me, no. In actuality, what I ended up getting this morning was an email back from the New York State DEC FOIL Center that says, Dear Stephen, thank you for your Freedom of Information law request. Your request has been received and is being processed. Your request was received at this office on February 19, 2025, and given a reference number of FOIL number, blah, 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 for tracking purposes. You may expect the department's response to your request no later than March 19th, 2025.
That's a good question, Grant. Steve, Grant's got a question here. It says, how much are they going to charge you per page for copy?
Well, I've requested it in electronic format, which, right? So if there's usually they charge a nominal fee of 25 cents a copy plus postage. So, for example, I spent, it's been pretty much the same price because they have to, by law, keep it minimally priced. They can't overcharge somebody for it. When I had gotten the 89 pages of the Clayton County Police Department's police report on the Georgia Bigfoot Body Hoax, mind you, that was 89 pages, right?
Right.
With postage, it cost me $24.
Oh,
so it's not expensive. And it was 25 cents, I think, a copy for the copies.
Wow.
And they were high quality copies. There was no wasted pages. It wasn't like the FBI.
Yeah.
Conversely, I've done another FOIL request with the Waterford Police Department. And I did this about 10 years ago. And they didn't even charge me. They just mailed me copies of the police contact cards. And I got 2 Bigfoot reports and the police contact cards. So this is the third time really I've enabled FOIL for a Bigfoot request. And this is the first time it's going to a state agency.
Yeah, Tackle Tactician said that would be a good one to send here in Kentucky as well. I agree. Of course, I only check out this local area here, so I wouldn't necessarily want to drive over to.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing. In a lot of these places now, everything is done by email.
Yeah.
The records, like I want a police report. I email the records division of the police department, and they email me the police reports. Now, let me say this: I have used a FOIL report probably about 100 times, right? Because when I do insurance investigation, when I when I explore when I explore wrongful death lawsuits, when I look at
Yeah.
fatal car accidents, or arsons, when I do the freedom of information law forms, which I wish I had AI back then, because I would have to pull out the form and then so it would
Right.
take me like an hour to make it perfect. Whereas this took me 5 minutes. But the you would send these out to these different agencies and you would get a response generally fairly quick. I know they gave themselves a month, but generally they come back a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But this is a pretty heavy offer, pretty heavy request, because I'm asking them to go back 8 years.
Right.
So I felt that was reasonable. I wasn't going to go back to 2000 or something crazy like that. Let's just keep it within the last 7-8 years. And
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. A tactician. What I normally do, I check out Barron County and Hart counties, and usually, if anything happens, because I know quite a few people,
so
and if anything happens, they usually contact me.
So anyway, Kaiju asked, how many times have they denied your request for Bigfoot information, or is denied even an issue? Well, here's the thing. This is my 3rd time doing a Bigfoot related issue, and so far I'm 2 for 2. So I'm, either they're going to come back and say, hey, we don't have any reports, or 2, they're going to say, or they're going to give me the reports, because it is a public interest thing.
Right.
The only time I was ever denied a FOIL request from the city of Albany was for a body cam footage of a witness after after a domestic dispute, because they were claiming, and immediately after the domestic dispute, they had gotten into their car and they sped off and they crashed into a telephone pole and then fled the scene. And for some reason, they denied the request, and the insurance company's like, "Oh, no problem. We'll just get our attorneys on them." So from that, I give them the denial, and then from there, their counsel will take over, and their attorneys will talk to their attorneys.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I would think that the police should never deny would be the body cam,
Right.
body cam footage, because that's supposed to keep everybody honest. You know what I mean? And not that we want to think our police officers are dishonest, but still, what
Well,
Reagan quoted the Russian thing: trust but verify.
the interesting thing is that when I had done the FOIL request to the Waterford Police Department, I actually got the contact cards and the information on the contact cards,
Right.
because that was back from the 80s. So they didn't really do these long forms back then. They did these little cards, and they used to file them in a card catalog almost.
Yeah.
And when I got a copy of that, they didn't redact anything. The names were there. And I actually reached out to one of the kids. And, oh, yeah, that happened, blah, blah, blah. I don't care what, the cop really didn't believe us, but, this did happen. So it's really kind of cool being able to follow up. The one I got from Clayton County only had some very, very minor redactions. And what the minor redactions were people's personal information, date of birth. But that's okay. I got it anyway, because Google's a wonderful thing too.
Yeah. The nice thing about it now is you actually have records you can look at, even if they're electronic. I mean, you can always print them out if you wanted.
Well, everything is turning into electronic. They're archiving stuff, and they're turning them into electronic records before they put them away.
Yeah,
and
I'm from the old school of actually I have used microfiche.
Oh yeah, yep.
To look up stuff, and that's not fun.
Troy Public Library. We have a newspaper in the city of Troy called the Troy Record.
Yeah,
and they were around since the 1920s. So if you had an article or a historical article you wanted to look up in the 40s and 50s, you'd get the microfiche out, you'd put it in the machine, and then when you sit there, you try to line it up perfectly, and then you hit print, and it prints you a copy of it.
Hey, Mick here. Hey, Mick.
And believe it or not, that's how I got the lead on the FOIL request for. That was an interesting story in of itself. I read a reference in Colin and Janet and Colin Board's book, The Bigfoot Case Book.
Right.
And that had a bunch of just compilations of Bigfoot reports. Not all of them were completely accurate, but some of them, at least they give you accurate times and dates. So
Right.
they say there was 2 sightings in Waterford, New York there. So I looked and it said it came from John Green's database. So at the time, there was a website that had John Green's database up there. So I looked it up and he got it from an article in the Troy Record. So I drive down to the library, I pull out the dates in microfiche of the thing, and I print the
Yeah.
articles. So
Right.
then what I do from there is I go home, I read the articles, and then I realize that Waterford Police responded twice,
Yeah.
once to one and once to the other, and I Freedom of Information law FOIL requested them.
Yeah.
And boom, there I have it.
Well, depending on how many sighting reports that comes back through this FOIL request, I mean, you could do a book on Bigfoot sightings in New York and list each sighting. Talk about each one.
Well, the
That would be
problem
cool.
is there's no central reporting. I mean, I can gather up, but that to me, that is something Bill Brand has done and Paul Bartholomew does,
Right.
and Bruce Hallenbeck. I mean, I have their 3 books combined. I have those behind me on the shelf,
Yeah.
and there's plenty of big. I mean, what am I going to do? Rehash what I can report on? And it is going to eventually be another book I'm going to write, and it's about my personal experiences in
Right.
Research Area 1, what brought me there, the whole story of that particular area.
Yeah.
And
Well, I might do something similar for Kentucky sightings. Have a book of Kentucky sightings.
and when you read What Would Sasquatch Do,
Mhm.
Volume 2, you see how all the stuff that happened in Research 1 ties directly into the primate behavior models and
Right.
habitation and stuff
Right.
like that. And
Yeah, I think the tackle tactician mentioned Charlie Raymond. Now, Charlie has got a really great site. I think it's it's called Kentucky Bigfoot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And he has a lot of sightings in Kentucky.
the KBRO, Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization.
Okay. A lot of good stuff. A lot of different counties, and some of them, I've not investigated them. Of course, I try to stick to the local area here because of the driving issue. I can't drive very far, but we did go to Land Between the Lakes. I went over there a couple of times. One time we stayed over there with a young man.
Wait. You went to, and there wasn't a person every 5 square feet?
No. It was with Steve.
Hey,
Steve.
Speaking of which, I hope Jay is okay. I haven't seen Jay in a while.
Yeah. Heard about Jay. Hope he's all
Jay
right.
Fritz, if you're out there, say hello. Pop in and say hello. We miss you, brother.
Well, he may be busy too this time of year. But we went over there. Scott and I went with Steve Dismore. Hey, Steve, if you listen, hey, buddy, over the Land Between the Lakes, and he'd had a sighting over there. I think he had several sightings, over the years.
Yeah, I met Steve Dismore as well.
Yeah, and man, it is. We went back into the sticks. I mean, if you didn't have a 4-wheel drive, and I'm talking about a good 4-wheel drive, you wouldn't going in there and you wouldn't coming out. Steve had at that time, I think it was like a Blazer, had a big lift kit on it and like Monster 1200 mutter tires on there. It was like a huge mud rig. Okay. And he said, I was driving my little Jeep, Grand Cherokee. He says, are you going to be okay to go back here? I said, yeah, don't worry about it, man. Anywhere you can go, I can go. And I almost eat my words there for a minute.
Whoops.
But we kind of slid sideways a little bit, but we just, we got where we needed to be. But,
So the cool thing about the DEC and their You want to know how serious that we're into this? Is that they actually created a login for me to the portal. So now I can review, and when it's done, they'll send me an email and say your documents are done.
That is so cool.
I go to the portal, and they'll be uploaded to my portal page, and I can just download them from there. And I can have them forever. I just go in there, and then anytime I want in the future request anything, I just go to the portal and do another FOIL request.
Yeah.
So that is really cool. So it's like New York. I don't even, the only time I ever have to go to DMV is to renew my license, my driver's license. Right. I need to, redo my registration or anything like that. I just get online, and 5 minutes later, and then a day later or 2 days later or whatever, my registration comes in the mail.
Right.
So,
we used to have, they really changed things around in Kentucky. We used to be able to go to the local courthouse and get our driver's license or, your ID, whatever. And they stopped that. Now we have to go to like Bowling Green, which is like, 35, 40 miles away, or Columbia, which is, God, I don't know, 60 miles away. And you got to go to the main office to get your stuff.
And then when you get your stuff, they give you a free coupon to the Golden Corral. So on your way back,
No. No, let me tell you, Kentucky don't give you nothing. Matter of fact, they'll usually say, "Oh, we can't do this today. Can you come back tomorrow?"
Let me explain something to you. New York doesn't give you nothing except a larger bill. That's all they give you.
That's right. Oh yeah, and they've got it so streamlined. They say, "Well, if you use your bank card, we can get you done quicker than if you use cash." They said, "Which do you want to use?" I said, "Well, I'll use my bank card."
Wait. I thought cash was king.
Not anymore. But yeah, boy, it's a whole. Used to, it took 15 minutes. Now it's like, we're gonna plan for the whole day just to get your license renewed.
Yep.
And believe it or not, I had to show them my birth certificate to get my license renewed.
That's kind
of. I said, hey, you already saw my birth certificate. That's how I got this, right? No, now you got to show them your birth certificate.
Well, in New York, you just go floating in. Need to renew my license. Here's my license, and then they let you keep your old license, and they stamp you a ticket with a temporary paper license, and then a week later you get yours in the mail.
Yeah.
Of course, me, I have. When I get a double check, but when I renew mine, I don't have to renew mine to 2028.
Right.
Yeah, because in New York, you only renew yours every 8 years.
Well, tackle tactician said, "Yeah, we got to go all the way to Bowling Green too, Chris, over an hour away." Yeah, and when you get down there, if you use the GPS to get you there, because they tell you the street address, you put that in your GPS. You pull up outside at this building. You pull up outside. There's a coffee shop there, and I'm thinking, well, okay, this is wrong. So I park my car and I go inside the coffee shop, and I tell this lady standing there, I said, "Well, look, I know you've never been asked this before, but where's the Department of Motor Vehicles for license?" And she started laughing. She said, "Yeah, everybody comes in here." But yeah, we had to go around on the other side of the building, back into the parking garage, and you walk through this little hole, and it's like it's hidden from the world back in there. How in the world they decided to put the DMV there is beyond me.
Well, ours, they have, believe it or not, New York State had a lot of malls for a while.
Yeah,
and some of those malls are dying. So actually, we have 2 DMV offices, one in Saratoga County, and there actually 2 of them in Saratoga County. They're actually in malls.
Yeah.
So you walk in the mall and there's DMV. You just load in, and
well, that's handy. I mean, in Kentucky, you got to have a GPS to get you in the general area. Then after that, you get out of the car and you use
You gotta pop a smoke signal up.
Use a divining rod to find the
Oh, there it is over there.
My willow stick is pulling me this way. That's crazy, man. But hey, that's progress. That's yeah.
That's Kentucky progress.
Yes. Why have it done at your local courthouse that takes 5 minutes, when you can, spend all day driving to another city? Okay, let's get off of that. We're not here to talk about driver's license. But yeah, I think this is a cool idea. A FOIL request. And I'm not sure what it's called in Kentucky. It may just be a Freedom of Information Act.
Well, it's either going to be a FOIL or a FOIA. Okay. Depending on where you live. In New York State, there's a law. It's called the Freedom of Information Act, Freedom of Information Law. Right. In some states, it's, like I said, Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah.
So, but ChatGPT, even the free version, will do that for you.
Well, I'll tell you, that thing is a godsend. That is a lot of work saved right there just by looking up the information for you.
Yep.
Okay, you need to email here. You need to, that is handy because even when in this new age where we have the information superhighway right at our fingertips, sometimes it's hard to find information.
Yep. Right. But the beautiful thing is ChatGPT will know in your state if it's FOIA or FOIL.
Yeah. Thanks, Kaiju Ninja. I appreciate that, buddy.
Now, the other cool thing about some of the things I've been doing with ChatGPT, which is really kind of cool, is I have the premium version. So I get into there. They have a legal section too. And I just put in some things. So I'm getting prepped for next season. And here I have my coverall discovery agreement, for the property owner. So if somebody calls me onto a property, right. This officially grants me access to the property.
Right.
Talks about it gives me the liability and safety. So it clears the homeowner of any liability if we get hurt.
Right.
Property preservation, data sharing and confidentiality. It also includes an NDA as well and a media release.
Yeah. So
it's all the bases are covered. And from there, if I talk to a witness or somebody third party that's not the property owner, we have, the audio, video, and photographic release form.
Right.
So, and then finally, if there's anybody on the team, we have a team NDA. So they don't go, if we find something, they don't go blabbing,
right.
Going off reservation with that. So,
well, I think an NDA is a good idea to have. I've got those and I've used those, and I think it's important not to put Bigfoot or Sasquatch on there. You just talk about the property in the area and what they're responsible to keep quiet. Right. And I took one gentleman out. He was a skeptic from the Skeptics Forum there. And I took him out with me and I said, well, before you go, you're going to have to sign an NDA because I don't want you blabbing, out where these areas are at because I don't want people tromping around. And so, I got him the NDA and he signed it and I kept my copy, give him his copy. And then, of course, what happened. Okay, since he's a skeptic, about 3 weeks later, he's on the forum telling everybody where he was at and everything. And I said, well, you shouldn't really do that. I said, because you signed the NDA. And he started laughing. He said, you can't prove Bigfoot's real in front of a judge. And he started laughing. And I said, well, you need to look at your NDA again because it don't say nothing about Bigfoot on there.
Right. Well, if you read the actual NDA clause, and to be quite honest with you, originally it was written in reverse.
Yeah.
But the researcher shall have right to request that any discovery made or evidence obtained on the property, doesn't say anything about Bigfoot, remain confidential. The property owner agrees not to disclose, distribute, or publish any findings for a period of 6 months after the conclusion of the research.
Yeah.
So for the property owner, that gives us a 6 month window to
Right.
conclude the research, get our findings, or if we have to send it out for
Yeah.
scientific results, etc.
Yeah. But I did release that area to the public after the incident with the guy taking a shot at a Bigfoot, because that happened right over in the funeral area. No
Now
need to
that-
keep them secret.
See, and then you look, for the purposes, any evidence, data, or findings related to Bigfoot research.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Steve Kaiju Ninjas 1985 says, in reports, is Bigfoot or Sasquatch ever used? The words Bigfoot or Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And police reports, yeah. And the Waterford police reports, both of them said Bigfoot.
Yeah. Or, like a hairy individual, maybe.
No. And they said that they reported Bigfoot in quotes.
Yeah. Kaiju said, unless the witness says it. Probably. Oh, no, the police officer could write it down, though. There was a big hairy thing standing on two legs. Oh, you saw Bigfoot,
Yeah, but so there's another idea that if you ever need an NDA quick, for those who are researchers out there and you're taking some strangers into your area, get them to sign an NDA.
Yeah.
Because what it covers is any research, any evidence obtained, audio recordings, video footage, photographs, and documentation, research methodology, strategies, and techniques, the identity of individuals and locations involved in research, and any unpublished or non-public discoveries made during the research. So
it's important because, if you take somebody out into an area where you've had some activity, you don't want them blabbing it all over everybody.
Well, you need to maintain the control on the pipeline. Which we've seen what happens when that's not done. We, reported last year on somebody saying something about this incredible thermal video that came out, and it turns out that it may just be so-so.
Right.
So we'll see. We have yet to see. It's getting close to spring, so hopefully we'll see soon.
Oh, that's a good point, Mick. Mick says the police officer is bound by law to write what the witness tells him or to specify when they interpret what the witness said. Yeah.
Right.
Very good point. But that's interesting, though. That's another good research tool.
Well, even if it comes out to be 1, 2, or 3 reports over this period of time, that'd be pretty cool. We kind of incredible is, we have 26. That would be pretty incredible. Like, what?
Yeah. That would be cool.
But what we're doing is we're peeling the onion.
Yeah.
Right. When you do these FOIL requests, no matter what field you're in, you're peeling the onion. Now, somebody made a mention about Stanton Freeman getting pages. Well, that doesn't happen with Bigfoot. The reason why is that there's no national security implications of Bigfoot. So they very rarely will black sheet massive listings of anything. If anything, they may black out some names. They may black out addresses. They may black out, a person's personal address or any personal information.
Yeah. And that makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
But I don't think, Bigfoot is classified documents. I wouldn't think.
I don't know. I don't know how much they're going to redact. If they, somebody reports one on their property, are they going to redact the address or are they going to redact the house number? Right. I'd be happy if they just redacted the house number and, the name of the person. So at least I know it was on like Foster Road.
Right.
And that way you have a kind of general consensus, but it'll have the county anyway.
I've only had one experience with doing a police report to the state police, and that was the guy that came out and investigated the trailer, the mobile home break-in. And, we were just having a discussion like, why did this guy break the window out? and then pull the door off the hinges. If he broke the window out, he could have reached in and unlocked or, turn the knob and open the door. No need
Oh,
to
I've
pull it out of the front.
I've like I did a fatal car accident investigation, and I've done a few of them. But the last one I did, I ended up, and what my company would do is issue me a check. They would overwrite me a check for the cost of the materials, because they didn't expect me to front that. And like I would get a CD or a thumb drive with all the photos on it or video, and mixed meatloaf is a national security concern. And and I would get a stack of reports and the accident reconstruction and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In fact, the accident reconstruction was on a disc because that was used with software. You pop it in, there it all is.
Yeah. Nick says, correct, Steve. However, if you listen to the woo crowd, there's a big government conspiracy to keep Sasquatch off the radar, and the men in black enforce the rules.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, in some circles, Steve is considered a member of the Men in Black.
Am I really?
Yes, you are.
Well, I am wearing black today.
Well, aha.
Is that velvet?
Taste the soup. I can't taste the soup. There's no spoon.
Will you taste the goddamn soup? He kicked Joe Lewis's ass.
Oh man.
Ah.
But that would be cool to pull some information together for a book, though. It really would. And if you got new sightings, I mean, people would like. I'm sure they'd like to read about them.
Well, it's not so much for the book or a book. It's more for my mapping project.
Sure.
If you go to squatchdetective.com,
right,
there is an interactive map on one of the pages, which has all the Bigfoot sightings on it. You can scroll in, scroll out, move it around, all that kind of neat things.
You click on the little icon, and it tells you, what the sighting was, and
Yep. So that's
another good tool, right, for research.
Another good tool on squatchdetective.com. We have the audio library there of known animal sounds and potential Sasquatch sounds. We had all kinds of fun stuff over there. No, actually, Mick is incorrect. It wasn't a weapon of mass destruction. It was a weapon of ass destruction.
Oh. We don't have a little drum roll for.
You want the delayed one? We can do a delayed one. There you go.
We're gonna have to hire somebody to run the side soundboard on the side.
Your job is to only hit this one button every time we make a joke.
Oh man, yes.
That's the fun thing about this show. We have a lot of fun when we do it, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even be interested in doing it if we wouldn't have fun.
Between our 12-year-old sense of humor going on between the two of us, right? There are some pearls of wisdom of my two old men.
If you listen closely.
And just pick yourself up off the floor.
But I enjoy doing the show with you. It's fun. And to me now, it's got to be where it's just like, just me and you having a conversation. And then we got all these great people joining us over here on the sidelines. We appreciate you.
It's like,
great questions. And some of the jokes kills me. I mean,
yeah. I'll tell you what, I knew my ex-wife's parents hated me because every time I'd come over to their house, they put newspaper down.
That's better.
Yeah. That works. That's
Martin says government doesn't have an agenda to stop discovery. They're just not allowed to be involved. I don't know. I don't really think the government, I don't think the government has this big agenda to hide Bigfoot.
No.
It's like we talked about this a lot before. It's probably just the local officials, like, okay, well, somebody saw Bigfoot. I don't want people coming in here stomping around the woods with guns. So we're just going to blow this off and say, no, there wasn't nothing.
Well, hold on. Let's stop right there.
Hmm.
What government? What government? That's my question. Everybody says the government. What government?
Well, it could be the U.S. government, could be the local.
Okay,
government.
so I have 6 million acres of Adirondack State Forest. The federal government has no involvement in it. Zero. State run.
Yeah, it's probably state and local government mainly, local officials. That's the key.
Let's say there is no policies. Nobody has ever come across with one that was legitimate that says, oh yeah, look, here's the official denial. When somebody can hold up a piece of paper to me and says, there it is, there's their policy about this, and we can confirm it, then it's all garbage to me. It's just chatter. It's just chatter for another excuse why we haven't discovered this creature. Let's stop it, people. Let's get real about this. There ain't no big government conspiracy about a Bigfoot.
Well, this makes a lot of sense too. Pine Island Research says the federal government has no incentive to reveal the truth about anything ever. That's true and has been true for years, but I think we're starting to get a few things revealed now.
Yeah, I think things are.
I don't want to go into politics, but the JFK files have been released.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
I thought they'd already been released.
Not yet. They're going to have it done by a certain date.
Well,
and the RFK and the MLK and the Epstein list, and they're eventually going to reveal some stuff about UAPs too. It's a lot of stuff going on.
We're starting to get a little bit of a discovery going on here. That's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. But I would like to know what's going on with UFOs, or UAPs, whatever they want to call them now.
It's like here is this stuffy little prude house, and somebody just let a 600-pound gorilla loose in it. Starts trashing the place. Like,
I want to see, what they say about UFOs. I want to see that. I would like to know. I've seen things that I couldn't explain before, but I can't say it was like from another world or another planet. But if they've got crashed UFOs and they've recovered alien bodies and they're hiding that from us, I'd like to know. I don't think they do. I'm pretty sure they haven't, but you never know.
Oh, I'm pretty certain they have.
I don't know.
I am pretty. See, years ago, and this is what people before I was a Bigfoot investigator in the early '90s. I did investigate UFO sightings for a while.
Right. I remember. Yep.
And it was spurred on by a buddy of mine by the name of Carmen. And he's like, come on, I want to go to this, symposium at the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, big engineering school in the Northeast, RPI. They've sent experiments up on the space shuttle before. I mean,
point of clarity, not that Carmen.
No, yeah, right. But anyway, we ended up watching a 3-hour lecture by Kevin Randall, and Kevin Randall was one of a retired. Well, he was at the time he was retired Air Force Reserve. He was a pilot.
Right.
He was like a captain or some high officer rank.
Right.
And he had done a lot of research on the Roswell crash. And he talked to all the original witnesses and had slides and audio recordings of all of them talking about it.
Right.
Very compelling stuff. And then as you fast forward through the years, more people have come forward about Area 51. And now you're having a lot of the folks that are part of some of these government programs that are coming forward and saying, yeah, this has been. So
well, I don't know. The Groom Lake thing, I think, is mainly just U.S. secret aircraft. I don't think they got UFOs out there.
No, but it's possible they may have held stuff there temporarily.
Yeah. I guess
Right.
anything's possible. But like before, though, remember, I may live in Kentucky, but I'm from Missouri too, because you got to show me. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Well, I got to say, some of those videos that have been released by the DOD are pretty impressive.
They are.
I mean, and the government can't explain them, and they're admitting it, which is rather unique now. Where it kind of turned the page a little bit, even though it's not. The page hasn't completely been turned. It's kind of we're getting kind of a peek,
Right.
in between the next set of pages. So I'm hoping things move into that because I'm curious as all heck.
Well, that's the main thing I want to know about. I want to know about the UFO stuff. I don't really care about the, we already know who's been on that little island doing the dirty stuff. Okay. I'm not really interested in that, but I am interested in the UFO stuff.
Right.
That interesting.
Oh yeah. The Epstein files. Yeah. They're going to, I could care less about that. Really.
I don't care nothing about that. We know. We already know.
It's kind of like the guy knew everybody.
Yes.
So there's going to be a lot of guilt by association on some of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, some of it's not, but some of it is.
That would be cool.
Got to be really
find out about something about Fort Knox is coming up. They're going to inspect it or something. Somebody is. Wow. I've seen a video of the last time. I think it was like in the 70s or something. They opened it up, and it's not like some big warehouse or anything. It's just like this room, and it's got gold bars lining the walls. But it'd be cool to see that again now, modern day time. See if it's still there.
Well, Chris, our hour is up for tonight. It flew by tonight.
That was quick. Oh, guys, thank y'all for hanging out with us. We appreciate it on this Wednesday night. We're tickled to death, and I do always say it because I always mean it. You guys are the best audience we could ever hope to have. If it's your first time watching, which I'm not sure if I saw any new names, there might be one or two. If it's your first time watching, or if you're listening over on the podcast and you go over to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/@squatchdtv, make sure to hit the subscribe button, smash the like button if you hadn't already. It really helps us out. It really helps the channel out. So thank you. We love you guys. Appreciate you. Steve.
Anyway, I figured I'd have one more gag before we get off the air.
Okay.
But anyway, everybody, again, thanks for hanging out with us tonight on Wednesday night. We'll be back Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Squatch-D TV. Of course, everybody be safe for the rest of the week, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Today is Hump Day, and now Hump Day is just about over with. We are in the slide to the rest of the end of the week. So we'll catch you all Friday night here, folks. Until then, be safe. God bless. And, of course, keep on squatching. Love you guys. See you in a little bit.
We thank you for being here with us on Squatch-D TV. If you haven't taken the time yet, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And oh yes, hit that notification bell too. We don't want you to miss anything. If you really like our content, you should consider becoming a member, and it's really inexpensive and a great way to support not only the show, but honest Bigfoot research. Everyone have a great week. Be safe and God bless. We will see you all here next time on Squatch-D TV. Keep on squatching.